No Phils last night. Game postponed to tonight, doubleheader with the Padres, but we will begin with the Phillies. Plenty more to get into. The Sixers made a big move. They brought back a fan favorite. So excited to talk about that later, and I got some Eagles conversation I want to get into. But for the Phillies, a conversation we had yesterday, and somewhere where we began the conversation, but we didn't quite make the pivot I was looking for in it. And it was Bryce Harper and his health, because we had the whole back and forth with reporters before the game Monday night, and he mentioned that he had gotten to a standstill in terms of healing. There was some concern about where the wrist is at. And there was certainly some concern on this show yesterday from Mike about what it means for his long-term health and the long-term health of him and how it impacts this team going forward the rest of the way. And for some of you, you look at that concern and you say, well, if Harper's not going to be 100%, can I expect this team to go out there and compete for a World Series? And if I can't compete, if I can't really consider them to do that, how am I going to approach this trade deadline? Should the Phillies be less aggressive? Should the Phillies go, quote unquote, we love throwing this phrase around without actually giving it substance, all in? Should they go all in for this season? And should your concern over his health change the way they approach it? Go ahead and answer that one for you, because there's one thing it will change for me. But take a listen once again so that we all have the refresher on what Bryce Harper had to say to reporters before Monday night's game.
Bryce, ultimately, what went into your decision and why was it time for you to come back?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to take any other steps forward of feeling better or anything like that. I thought we were kind of at a standstill of it feeling the same the last couple of days, and from BP to live and things like that, kind of gave us the same results each day. So I thought today was a good one.
Is it something you're going to have to manage, though, in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. I'm not sure yet what that's going to feel like. So we're going to, as I go, I think, and as I know you guys will, and Tomper as well. So we'll see, how I feel tonight, tomorrow, and, go from there.
You said last year you played through it. Does it feel any better or worse than how you played through it last year?
Yeah, no, it feels better. It feels way better than where I was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I'm happy with where we are. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how I feel each day. If I need to take days off or figure those days off. I know we have Thursdays pretty much all the way till the middle of August off. So that'll be good for it. But I'm just not sure yet. We're going to, like I said, it's kind of been at a standstill the last couple of days of feeling good. So hopefully it stays there.
Do you feel you can play at your best level feeling the way you do now?
Yeah.
He feels like he can play at his best level, which is important there. He went on later to say that he does feel great and that though he's hit this standstill at the way he feels better and he feels ready to play, which is important here to the greater context of all this. If Bryce Harper is telling me he's good for right now. I am concerned long-term with the fact that he's got a reoccurring wrist injury and what it might do. And do I think that we're not going to see days off throughout here the rest of the season? No, of course I think we'll see days off. If he's promising you that, we're going to get there. But in terms of actually talking about what it does for this team and whether I'd reconsider being aggressive at the deadline, absolutely not. Any concern I have for Bryce Harper and his health, while it does factor into the long-term picture of what this team will do, you absolutely cannot change your plans with this team where they are at right now in terms of your aggression at the trade deadline. When you look at the age of one, Bryce Harper himself, and the guys you've committed big money and big contracts to, and especially Trey Turner right there alongside him, those two not getting any younger. Not getting any younger in terms of competing for a World Series. You also already have an expiration date for the career of Zach Wheeler out there on the table. You have to take advantage of your team's greatest asset while you have it, and that is the starting pitching on this team. And the level that they're going right now, which I see, this is something I know Unfiltered said quite a few times, because I feel like every time I see a video of Bill pop up talking baseball on my timeline is, you can't waste this starting rotation. Bill, you're right about that. You can't waste this starting rotation. And that is why you absolutely cannot be less aggressive because of concerns over Bryce Harper. I saw some people yesterday in our YouTube chat over our text board, and I see people on social media freaking out over Bryce Harper and his health. And, if he's not going to be healthy, what's going to happen to this team? When we get to the road in which he's not out there playing, then we'll start to address that. They have to continue with the path of this season of competing, and you've seen them. Even without Bryce Harper, they are now leading the NL East. They were able to stay afloat in a month in which the Mets saw their starting rotation get injured and saw their season start to change a little bit. The Phillies didn't have Bryce Harper, and they overtook the Mets for first place in the NL East. This is a team still at the top of the National League, and you cannot change your aggression based on the what will happen. Because the what will happen exists across baseball. Well, what if this player goes down? What if that player goes down? I understand there's concern over his health, but to me, that can't take away from what you do at the deadline. The one thing it has changed for me, though, listening to him talk about his health, I think we got to stop with any type of trades that say, hey, he's going back out to the outfield. I think that officially can stop. I think I am done entertaining the world in which, what if Bryce Harper goes back to the outfield? What if he... I understand he said he'd do it. And I very much said on this exact show a few weeks ago that they would not be out of line to ask him to do it again. But at this point, him talking about his health, the long-term viability of his health, I am not asking him to do that again. That's the one thing this has changed for me. But in terms of aggression, I'm not changing at all my plans at the trade deadline with concerns about Bryce Harper's health. I just can't. I look at the roster that I have, and to accumulate all this talent like you have right now, to be in the position that you are right now, to change course because of the unknown, when Bryce is telling you, hey, I'm good, I'm ready to go, that to me does not seem like a plan that would be in the Phillies' best interest because you're preparing for a window that you don't even know if it exists. And that's the biggest problem for me when it comes to, should they be a little less aggressive because Harper's in? Because Harper's had a little injury here? No. And by the way, for everyone that's freaking out about the fact this happened last year, it happened last year to him, it's happening again, how should I expect him to perform if he's not 100%? Do you want me to bring you back to last September when apparently he was dealing with the wrist? Last September when he was dealing with the wrist, 25 games in September, he hit .315 with a .394 on base percentage and slugged at a .543. Take you back to last August. Was he also dealing with that? Hit .298 at that time. That, to me, when I look at the concern over Bryce Harper and his wrist and should it change your plans at the deadline, it doesn't to me. Because if he was dealing with it last year, those numbers at the end of the season suggest he found a way to deal with it. And on top of that, I have too many guys right now in their prime that are a part of this championship window that I'm not going to invent a new championship window down the line that might happen and sacrifice this one right now just because of a month in which Bryce Harper did not play and concerns that, again, only those of us with MDs from WebMD right now are diagnosing him with. So I'm not changing my deadline plans, but I'm curious for you. 610-632-0975. I start today with this because I saw this idea floating around, whether it be, again, our YouTube chat, whether it be our text board, out on social media. If he's not 100%, should they even be aggressive? Should they even look to do anything? Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely still full steam ahead and trying to improve this roster and trying to put the best roster forward to go compete. I can't let the people, again, with MDs from WebMD tell me that this season is going by the wayside, this trade deadline should go by the wayside because of what you are trying to diagnose Bryce Harper from home. So that's where we'll start the show. You can get it on that 610-632-0975. Would you change your deadline plans because of your concern over Bryce Harper's injury? Does the concern over Bryce Harper's health at all change the direction you want to see the Phillies go at the deadline? Now, we got plenty to get into today. The Hall of Famer Jason Stark joining us at 11:25. I got Brendan Gunn producing the show, hanging out with me. And we're also giving away Phillies tickets, all right? It's technically a General Knowledge Wednesday. If you've listened to General Knowledge Wednesday, sometimes my knowledge not so great. So I don't think I can replace Mike in the host chair, considering he dreamed of being a game show host his entire life. Today, we're playing a game very simple. I will give you a name, and you have to tell me Declaration of Independence signer or 1800s Philly. If you guess correctly, 50-50 shot, you're entered to win Phillies tickets for their game on July 4th coming up later this week. Very simple game. Declaration of Independence signer, 1800s Philly. You guess right, you're entered to win. You can get in at 610-632-0975. Does the concern over Bryce Harper's health at all change the direction you want the Phillies to go at the deadline? And coming up, one of the places we want to see them address at the deadline, the outfield. Who would be the odd man out? And in which scenarios does that outfielder get left out? We'll get to that coming up. I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through the Mike Missanelli Show today, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. If you want more from the Mike Missanelli Show, somewhere on this screen, there is somewhere where you can hit the playlist. Keep interacting with us.